to the first episode of SLS Nagpur's podcast, the Lawcast, the Lawyers Podcast. This is Shreya Kotecha, and today we are privileged to have Advocate Suadat Ahmad Kirmani, a partner at Indus Law Firm at Bengaluru. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us here today.
Hi Shreya, thank you so much for having me.
So, sir, my first question is, could you start by telling us about your law school journey and the legal profession, and what initially drew you to the law, and how did you end up at Indus Law Firm?
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much and congratulations for this podcast. I wish you all the best. Law happened to me by elimination, actually. So I wasn't supposed to be a lawyer initially. I wanted to get into the Air Forces, and I had in fact taken the subjects PCM for that. However, for some reasons I couldn't get through, and then I got through in engineering. But I realized it was better to be a good lawyer than a bad engineer. So I then ended up becoming a lawyer and chose law school. And I think it was God's plan. So here I am. How Indus happened was, I've been in this profession for more than 12 years now, and I joined Indus Law last year as a partner in the disputes practice. I've worked at some of the top tier firms before this as well, and yeah, that's how Indus happened.
So that was a very thing like engineering to law. It was a very great journey, I hope.
There was no journey. I never did engineering, so there was no journey there.
Okay. So, sir, reflecting on your law school experience, what were some of the most valuable lessons that you've learned during your time there, and how did it shape your career path?
So, law school, of course, was had its own share of good times, great times, not so good, not so great times. But I think law school did prepare me for a lot of things, and there was still a lot of learning left, which I did after I, completed the law school. I think a lot of things that I learned in the school, in the law school, were discipline, and I think that's one of the most important things that you get up every day, you show up in the college. That shows a lot of discipline you have towards what you're trying to do, and that's what was one of the key takeaways from the college. Of course, I ended up making some great friends in college. I think that's one of the essential part of it. Secondly, I also had some great teachers who were there who helped me shape up into who I am today. They have played an important role. They were teachers, they were mentors, as well as friends. So those are some of the memories I have from the law school. And of course, we had our own share of fun in the law school.
Since we are talking about law school, I would like to ask, how has been your experience with Symbiosis Law School Nagpur, and particularly about students?
Oh, it's been great. This is the fourth time I'm on the campus. All your faculty, especially Dr. Dari, Dr. Ahmad, Dr. Shilpa, the kind of hospitality I get from not just from them, but all of you, all the students from various committees. It's just fantastic. I am in love with your campus. I think you guys are a great bunch of kids to be around. Very bright. I've found most of your students that I've interacted with absolutely bright. The staff, the students, they're all so hospitable. It doesn't feel like a burden coming here, and I look forward to coming here whenever Dr. Dari calls me, and the experience has been fantastic. I love coming here, and I hope to continue coming here as long as you guys keep inviting me.
Sure, sir. We would love to have you here every time.
No, it's a pleasure being here. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you from the entire Symbiosis family for this appreciation.
No, thank you for having me. It doesn't feel like a place that I don't know. It feels very comfortable. Right from when I board the flight till I go back, it's just a great and a happy experience with all of you all.
Thank you so much, sir. So my next question to you is, you've accumulated extensive experience in advising on civil and commercial disputes. So can you describe a pivotal moment in your career that significantly influenced your professional development?
So, firstly, I'm just a student of law. So, saying that I have significant experience in something is I feel is an overstatement. I am still learning. I'm still Like I keep on saying that we are all students of law, so I'm still learning. I was just born a few years before all of you also probably have more experience in that, but I am still on the learning path. It's a learning curve that I'm still on. I wouldn't say there was a significant moment as such, because like I say, it's an everyday learning. I still approach every case as if it's my first. I still try and work on each case as if it's my first case, and I'm still excited about every piece of work that comes my way. So that's the approach that I have, and that's my mantra when it comes to my work. Some of the yes, there were certain times where I felt that the kind of things that I was able to do, that I got the chance to do, were of course something that I would say are the highlights. And one of the things that comes to my mind was that when I was doing my first construction arbitration, I had no clue what I was doing. So and that's when I started researching about it and checking the internet and some of the books that were available. But that moment I remember sort of put this thing in my mind that I love the subject and I want to do more. And that's when I started learning about this subject, and that kind of drew my attention and piqued my interest in the subject, and I started picking it up. Of course, this is in addition to my other work that I do. But I still remember that day because I was absolutely clueless about it, and I'm still learning it. In fact, I'm also writing a book about it, just to share my experiences with the younger generation, and I hope it does come out soon. It's of course still work in progress. I do hope to complete it. My schedule doesn't allow me to devote as much time as I would have wanted, but the idea is to at least complete it by this year so that it can go to publication next year. And once we have that, it's just my experiences, just my way of wanting to share whatever I learned and accumulated one place, and share it with everybody else out there.
So you might not have a significant moment, but you are a significant personality for us for sure.
No, I think that's just that's just out of, I think, love and respect you have that you're saying all this. But like I said, I'm just a student of law, nothing more. And I aspire to be a student of law till I say goodbye to this world.
So sir, my next question is that what is that one key piece of advice you would give to current law students like us and who aspire to build a successful career in law?
See, there are many things, and what may work for me may not work for somebody else. So I will not, try to give you some advice that helps you, but I'll tell you some of the things that have worked for me, and some of the things that I look at my colleagues, current as well as future. One of the most important, I think, something that is that's a cliche now, is that hard work. There is absolutely no substitute to hard work. You have to work hard, you have to put in the hours, you have to read through the documents again and again and again till you are able to find it out. And that's where I think the beauty lies, that's where I think the thrill lies. It's an absolutely necessary skill if you want to succeed in any field, let alone law. In any field, if you want to succeed, hard work is an absolutely non-negotiable skill. Second is integrity. I think, I believe if you don't have integrity, I don't think a person is complete without having integrity. So I think integrity is something that's again a very important aspect of one's life, private as well as professional life. One must have integrity and honesty towards your craft, loyalty towards your craft. If you're honest and loyal towards what you do, there's nothing that's going to stop you. There's nothing that will come in the way of your success. What success, how much success will you get, when will you get, that of course is dependent on multiple factors. But I don't know if you'll get success with these things, but I know for a fact that you will not get success without these things. And every other thing is obviously very, very important. But and I've often said this, that hard work eats attitude for lunch and luck for dinner. So there's absolutely no substitute to hard work. And if you ask me, if I have to say one thing that you must have, it's absolutely hard work and your loyalty towards your craft. You cannot not have that. That's an absolute must.
Sir, I hope all the law students, aspiring law students who are watching this will definitely take these advices and implement.
I hope so too, and I hope they don't find me too philosophical, but this is an actual truth about how it must be.
Sir, so my next question is, approaching for students aiming to secure internships at legal law firms and big law firms, what strategies or approaches would you recommend them?
See, I wouldn't recommend any strategies or approaches because I feel that's very cosmetic. But what I would say a few things would be, one is, again, be honest in your CVs. Okay, don't faff in your CVs. That's one of the most important things. Don't get bogged down by wanting to have 10 internships, 5 moods, 3 MUNs, 2 papers. There's no fixed formula. And even if you have something like that on your paper, but when you come to interact with any lawyer, they'll get to know whether you're actually honest about it or whether you've just written it for the heck of writing it. So one thing I would say is, absolutely, of course, work hard. I understand there are limitations that even we face. We cannot accommodate more people than we can, right? So it gets difficult, and we do in fact lose out on talent as well, because there's only limited number of interns or colleagues that we can take. But it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world for the students. I would encourage students to keep upskilling themselves because today it's such a great time to be a law student. The kind of resources that you have, the kind of access to resources you have, I didn't have it probably 10, 15 years before when I was in the law school. So you have so much material available, on YouTube, on podcasts, on other platforms. Make use of that. Try to learn as much as possible. Keep upskilling yourself, and that's one way of doing it. The other one is, when you're sending a CV, make sure that your CV is properly made. It doesn't have any typos. It doesn't have any grammatical mistakes. It looks clean. It's not verbose. It doesn't have unnecessary things. Make sure that your cover letter crisply summarizes whatever you want to say and address to the right people. Do a bit of a research before sending your CV. It's really odd when somebody sends me a CV saying that they are inspired by my work in IPR, where the fact is that I'm a dispute resolution lawyer, right? So it seems very fake when they send it like that. So my advice would be to keep it real, to keep it authentic, and work hard, and then send that CV to us. So that's something. Of course, a lot of things add value to your CV, like the kind of electives you've taken, the kind of courses outside of your law school that you might do, the kind of internships you've done. But authenticity is the key, and that's what will take you places. It may not land you an internship immediately, but in the longer run, that's what is going to take you places. Authenticity. What is you is something, that's a question that you need to ask. What is that USP you have? What is uniqueness? What's your uniqueness? What is unique to you? And what value do you bring to the table is something. Don't try to copy others, because you don't know the others, the journey that they are going to. You don't know what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. But focus on your strengths, work on your weaknesses, and I can tell you that your time will also come.
As a second year, I think I'll get a very good start for the internship, since I've got the advices from you.
I hope so too.
Sir, since you told that you are inclined towards arbitration and dispute resolution, so my next question is, with your extensive experience in arbitration, how do you see the role of alternative dispute resolution evolving in the legal industry?
See, I am a dispute resolution lawyer, and of course I do a lot of litigation as well as arbitrations and a fair bit of mediations as well. But I think ADR is of course here to stay. Traditional litigation as we know it is of course getting replaced to a large extent by ADR mechanisms, be it arbitration or be it mediation. And our governments have, and the institutions and the judiciary has shown a lot of interest in bringing the spectrum of arbitration as well as mediation up to a level where we are known as one of the topmost arbitration practicing countries now, be it domestic as well as foreign. In fact, in SIAC, we see that almost 60-70% of the cases that go to SIAC have an Indian party. So which shows that we have a lot of faith in the system. Of course, no system is perfect. It has its own shortcomings. It will have its own shortcomings. And that's why we're constantly trying to work as a system which wants to work better. And everybody has a role to play, from lawyers to the judges, to the governments, to the legislature, to the law students. Because, it will, a lot of it's because you are the future, so a lot of it will depend on, what you are doing, how you're looking at a particular practice area. So all of these things, of course, I think it's a great time to do ADR as well as litigation. Of course, I mean that's my where my heart lies. And ADR also, now it's not limited to arbitration. Now mediation, with the Mediation Act being enacted, I think there's a serious push, India being a signatory to Singapore Convention. So I think, of course, there's a serious push towards, ensuring that we create a system where mediation is also one of the preferred modes of, dispute resolution. So I think ADR is here to stay, if you ask me that. I think ADR is something that people will be doing a lot. We will be utilizing various forms of ADR. And once our mediation enforcement system post the act also becomes a robust system that we have other systems, I think it will encourage people to mediate more, which in my view is a great thing, simply because it's definitely more cost effective, more time effective. So I think, yes, I mean the future looks bright for ADR in our country.
Sir, my next question was obviously about the future of arbitration and mediation, but I guess you have already answered that in a very good way. So
I spoke about this a lot today. So yeah, I think
obviously I'm going to come on that workshop also. So
yes,
thank
please.
you so much for coming to Symbiosis Law School
No,
Nagpur.
absolute. Like I said, it's an absolute honor, absolute privilege to be amongst you guys. And you may not know this, but I learn more from each one of you than you think you may learn from me. I'm just a student of law, and I really, really want to thank your faculty, especially Dr. Dari, Dr. Ahmad, and Dr. Shilpa, who were kind enough to invite me and give me a chance to come back to, a campus and then talk to and interact with all of you all. I think looking at you, I feel very happy. I think, and in fact, all of you, your teams and everybody, I feel, the future of law in this country is in safe hands. And of course, it's, and I think I speak, not only on my behalf but on behalf of a lot of my friends when I say that, we are happy to mentor kids. And this is a request to my peers as well, that we must all be ready to mentor kids like yourselves and your friends who are the future of law in this country. And trust me when I say this, a lot of our friends are mentoring law students from various law colleges across the country, and who are doing exceptionally well. So it fills my heart to see. And take, for example, this podcast. I mean, you're going out of your way to making sure that you're interacting with somebody. And of course, I feel very lucky that I was the first guest on your podcast.
Exactly.
And I hope you get better people after this. I don't think I was good enough for this. But I think that's the beauty of it, right? I mean, we're all talking to each other, we're all interacting, we're all communicating, and I think that's very, very important. And the future looks great, and you guys are all, of course, I enjoy talking to all of you all. So thank you so much for having me. Thanks again for inviting me, and thank you for having the podcast with me.
Thank you so much for giving us our time for the podcast.
No, absolutely, yeah. It's a privilege. It's a privilege always talking to the students, and I feel so good coming and sitting with the students, because it's so much to learn from you guys that I can't tell you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this podcast and for giving us this time to shoot this podcast. We are very grateful for this, and thank you for conducting this workshop, and I hope everybody is able to learn something there.
I hope so too.
Obviously, they are going to learn something. Thank you so much, sir, for the
Thanks
podcast.
a lot. Thank you so much.